What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Smart Money Sundays. Hope you all have had a wonderful weekend and are ready to crush it again this week in the markets. Lots of good potential, good looking setups coming into this week. And as usual, we're going to start off here on the majors. So Euro USD, really across the board, what I'm seeing personally is dollar weakness, continuations across the board. And Euro USD, really, if we kind of zoom out to the higher time frames, we've been on the higher time frames continuing to create these higher lows and higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low. Naturally, we should expect a higher high, as well as the fact that we have relative equal highs here within our previous high, sitting just under 1.11. So I expect these relative equal highs to be the initial kind of draw on liquidity. And then ultimately, I'm expecting higher prices in and around 1.12, 1.1250 as the overall objective. Right? And if you've been following Smart Money Sundays for some time, you know this is really just about kind of establishing the narrative, establishing the overall bias where we expect the markets to head for the week ahead. All right. And then naturally, we're establishing POIs, but naturally we have to execute during the proper time and price, during the proper sessions, using lower time frame price action. All right, but Euro USD, if we hop back down to the 1 hour time frame, this one, our original POI from a couple of weeks ago was this down close here. We tapped into it once, made another run, made a subsequent run on the lows, 1, 2, 3 run on the lows. And we finally got that spring, that expansionary move to end the week last week. Nice bullish engulfing there on the daily time frame, respecting that daily 50 EMA as well as that 4 hour 50 EMA supporting price. Excuse me, guys. I'm in Alabama still. Man, these allergies are bad. But anyway, again, back above the EMAs on the 4 hour and the daily, I'm expecting pullbacks. Right, I'm looking to buy any type of retracement on Euro USD as we are now back into alignment on all of the time frames, looking to tag alongside this momentum. So what I simply have marked off is our most recent kind of area of demand here from Friday New York session. If we can just simply get a pullback into this area, especially during kind of London or New York open tomorrow, that would be great in my opinion for overall continuations. I don't really see a need for us to trade lower than this. Okay. So that's the expectation there on EU. And again, I've already kind of given you the overall objectives, that being 1.11, 1.1250. All right, we've really got kind of the same deal here on GBP USD. Overall higher time frame, very bullish at the moment, creating those higher highs, higher lows. Right, we were traded back down into our down close candle here. Naturally, we should expect a higher high on the higher time frames. On Friday, we had that big, strong, bullish move, just wicking through this previous high. Right, we've kind of retreated to close out the week. I fully expect that to be blown through. All right, we'll probably just retrace, pick up more orders, and then continue and expand. Right, and then on the higher time frames, what I'm looking at is 1.3 as an objective. Right, if you look at the daily time frame, all right, I want to dig up into this area of supply, this last kind of up close before the big spillover, big expansionary move, high bear volume here. So we can fill that in. Nice institutional round number, 1.3. That would be great, and that's a really solid objective in my opinion. So I'm simply looking to kind of fill in this inefficiency here on the daily time frame, and that's in pretty nice alignment with our lower time frame kind of down close candle here. All right, so we can trade into this down close candle, and I've rounded it off to 1.2780 as that focal point. All right, I'd really like to get down into 2780, and then we can look to continue to buy as we are Euro USD. All right, AUD USD, this one is very similar. All right, overall on this one, if we look at the higher time frames, you'll know that we traded into our area of demand to the left. I'll just go ahead and mark it off again, that we've been talking about for quite some time, this full area of demand. We've now traded into that and broken structure, higher high relative to this high. Right, so again, once that happens, right, we would naturally expect a retracement into discount, right, and then an overall continuation higher high. All right, but this just looks too clean. This looks too easy. This looks like a double bottom to me. So before we start looking for higher time frame swings to the upside, I do think that these relative equal lows need to be run out. Right, and so what I think is happening at the moment is we're going to see kind of a run on buy side liquidity here, trigger those buy stops, right, and get that type of type 2 manipulation that we like to see. Run on the highs, subsequent run on the lows, and then the expansion. Right, I'd really like to see that here on AU. And if you hop down to the lower time frames, we do have a nice area of supply, right, that I think price could potentially trade into for a kind of intra-week trade, intra-week opportunity, as in trade up into here, right, run on our highs, right, trigger those breakout traders and then slam them, right, trigger the sell stops here, right, trade into an overall area of demand, right, this previous high, right, and then potentially see that run higher. Now, we don't necessarily need to trade into this. I mean, we very easily could just run right through these lows a little bit and then moon. So I'm really just going to be interested in buying below these lows here once I see those lower time frame confirmations, right? And so, I do think we can run these highs here. And so if we do open up, this might be also an intraday buying opportunity up into this level. Again, intra-week selling opportunity, and then we'll be looking for that accumulation to buy it. So potential ping pong action here on the Aussie dollar. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I do like this potential level as well for a quick scalp to the upside. All right, USD CAD. Again, following alongside this dollar weakness theme and continuations. You'll remember we have traded into our overall objective at 1.3200. It doesn't mean we should just reverse from that objective, right? An objective is just it was just a target for when we were selling it. Doesn't mean we can't trade lower. In the overall objective here, I think we can fill in 1.3050, if not 1.3000, before seeing that higher time frame reversal, filling in some of this imbalance here that was created with this big bullish engulfing. All right, and so with that. With Friday's close, right, trading into that daily 50 EMA is nice dynamic resistance. We had that engulfing candlestick to close out the week on Friday, and I would expect further continuations to the downside, running out this previous low, trading deeper into that objective. All right, and so what I am looking at the moment is a nice potential little flip zone. I can't remember what time frame I was doing my analysis this morning. 30 minutes. Yeah. Essentially this area here, right, where we had that kind of area, that level of demand, that down close, price traded into it, reacted, flipped. Right, so that flips to supply. If we can get up into that, I think that would be a nice area of intraday premium to look to sell this thing lower. We could, potentially squeak our way up into this area. That would be okay too. But excuse me, this will be my first focal point here. Around 1.3220 on USD CAD. Look for continuations short in alignment with what we've been looking at across the board here on the majors. Really the same deal with USD Swiss franc, if it would load for me. There we go. USD Swiss franc, higher time frame. We've had a significant meltdown, right? And I do expect us to kind of run out these relative equal lows here, at least trade down into our down close here, but more than likely take out our previous low. All right, with that said, I'm looking for slight pullbacks on the intraday level for overall continuations, very similar to USD CAD. Again, I can't remember the specific time frame, but 8.920 I have it rounded off to, and if we do dig a little bit higher up into our up close here, 8.950. So those are the two levels I'll be looking for shorting opportunities. See if there's anything on UJ. USD JPY evidently is having kind of an overall retracement at the moment. That's fine. That's in alignment also with that dollar weakness. We didn't quite trade up into our area of supply, our up close here. We just missed that. I still think we have room to go again to the upside, but we're just having that retracement at the moment, right? And potentially running out some short-term sell-side liquidity pools. this low, potentially digging back down into a previous area of supply or of demand. Right, and so we could see a little bit of an intraday selling opportunity. It wouldn't be my favored setup here on the majors, just because the yen itself is pretty weak at the moment as well. But I am liking, again, I can't remember the time frame. Let's see. Bear with me, guys. Not in my usual spot today, so the Wi-Fi is a little iffy. I am liking kind of our up close candle here for an intraday POI. All right, so we can get up into that. You can very easily see continuation, or at the lower time frame, bearish momentum. All right, Euro GBP. This one really didn't do much last week. Just kind of chopped around. This one, the objectives, or excuse me, the POIs are still the exact same as previously. All right, we had that run on our nice equal highs, perfectly engineered equal highs, traded into a previous low here. And of course, once that objective was met, we ran out the liquidity, immediately shift to a new objective, right, our previous low. Now we're kind of creating relative equal lows. So it would be great if we can pull up into our flip zone here, potentially higher into something like this, right, as a more premium POI. But if we can get up into that area, kind of in and around 8,580, then I'd be looking for shorting opportunities down into 8,500 as the overall objective. So that one remains the same. Let's see, CAD JPY. Goodness gracious. Sorry, guys. Come on. This is frustrating. Wi-Fi's tripping out. Oh, there we go. All right, CAD JPY. Oh my. I don't have patience for this. All right, here we go. CAD J. Again, we have some really clean equal highs up here, as well as here on the higher time frame. That's still the objective, is running out 110.50. We're just kind of like USD JPY, experiencing that kind of overall retracement, potential run on short-term sell-side liquidity pools. I think if we can get down into kind of 105.50, 105.40, this last down close before the big, bullish engulfing, bullish expansion, and that might, be in alignment with our daily 50 EMA at that point. This might be a good level to start looking for accumulation. Overall, another expansion back up to the upside, targeting our previous highs. All right, and I'll just kind of highlight the lower time frame equal highs. Right, this is just simply not a high in the market. We just chop around, no sort of manipulation. We just chop around and then retrace, trade lower. That's a great indication that we are going to make another move higher. All right, AUD CAD. This one has also traded into an overall objective, right? Remember our down close from a while back that we were talking about as an objective. We've accumulated and are trading higher at the moment. I would like to see higher prices on this one, right? And we obviously had if you're part of our VIP community, I gave out this very specific level in the middle of last week as an entry point. That was a beautiful trade, ran out the previous high. I am expecting us to continue on higher, right? And so this one I am liking. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. There we go. On the lower time frames, on ACAD, I'm liking this level here, all right, as the first focal point, this POI, and then potentially further down. I can't remember also what time frame this was I was looking at. If we just run out this kind of short-term low, trade into this little bit of an area of demand, then I'd like to continue to buy retracements here on AED-CAD into at least 891, 8906. That would be that negative 27 of the overall fib extension. All right, so that looks good for retracements and continuations. All right, I'm probably just going to do a couple more because this Wi-Fi is really starting to piss me off. You guys too, I'm sure. So again, my apologies. NZD-CAD. This one, I think this one now that it is also traded into an overall objective to the left, this previous high within market structure before we expanded and we broke to the upside, we've traded into that. Accumulated beneath the previous low and rallied to the upside. I think if anything, we at least need to fill in some of this inefficiency, and so we have some room to go to the upside here on NCAD. And so I do like, first and foremost, this area, this kind of flip zone, this area of demand, this pause in the market, boom, before big bullish expansion, big bullish volume, high volume candlestick enters into the market. So if we can roll over into that, that would be great. Continuation. If we do retrace further, we do have another extremely discounted level where we could be looking to also take buying opportunities, this flip zone here, right? So you have an area of demand, of supply, you react, supply fails, bulls win the battle, break through, right? That supply flips to demand. Right, so that brings us in around 8080 as a secondary POI, but I do like this level first and foremost. Okay, just going to blitz through the remainder. Euro AUD has traded into its overall area of supply here after running out equal highs. Right, we had a very, very nice buy to sell to close out the week on this one. All right, so I would like to see potential mitigation, continuation to the downside to start the week. All right, I'll be looking at this bit of inefficiency here as the focal point. All right, and then you can just think about it on the lower time frame as a flip zone. This inefficiency, right? Demand, price trades into demand. That wick is that reaction, and then we fill that wick, we break through. So especially if we kind of trade lower first and foremost, create a new low, and then trade higher up into that level, that would be great for an overall continuation. Right. Euro Swiss franc. Euro Swiss franc. Do like this one as well. We never did trade into our area, our down close candle, our area of demand here. Right. We came very, very close with a singular wick low, which I do believe will be run out. That will be a draw on liquidity in my opinion. Trading into this POI, and then we could potentially look at buying opportunities into previous highs. But until then, I want to continue to look to sell Euro Swiss franc. We have a nice set of intraday highs that I think can be treated as induced liquidity, right? Potentially trade up into our supply zone here at 9775 for the overall continuation. Just simple premium continuation down, run out the low, and then we can look to buy. Might be a pretty clean intraday setup for you to keep on the radar. All right, so that's eChef. NChef, similar situation. Nice little flip zone on this one as well. Right, demand, right, higher high, higher low, failure to create a higher high, reaction off demand, fails, flips to supply. So if we can kind of chop around, engineer liquidity, run that out, that would be the ideal setup, very similar to Euro Swiss franc. All right, so keep that level there on the radar as well. And last one is going to be GBP AUD. This one I'm really liking the manipulation that we saw to close out the week. This is very similar to Euro AUD in that we have run out a massive higher time frame previous high here. right? This previous high on the higher time frame. And we're starting to kind of create these, we're starting to kind of top out here. And if you hop down to the lower time frames, here we go again. All right. If you hop down to the lower time frames, you can see previous high here as well, previous high here as well, right? Engineering that liquidity for that final buy to sell, right? Immediate railroad, right? Immediate strong, sharp reversal reaction back to the downside after digging into that pool of buy side liquidity. It's testing my patience today. All right, so immediate, right, breakout. Everyone thinks it's a breakout, and then we, boom, flip right back into the zone. So especially kind of like Euro AUD, if we can trade lower, get that pullback, right, that would be a kind of a flip as well. We could look to add on, scale into a winning position for continuations to the downside. All right, so that looks really, really, really nice here on GA as well. Love to see that manipulation. That is an institutionally sponsored move. All right, so that wraps it up for today, guys. Also, if you haven't seen, Nate did a pre-market analysis video himself as well. That's over on the Trading Nut channel. He goes a little bit more in depth, and he trades a lot more of the kind of exotics and crosses, whereas I like to kind of more so focus on the majors. Again, I apologize for the slow Wi-Fi. It just trips out every once in a while. We get a lot of storms here in Bama. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you like the way we do analysis, and you like the value that's provided within these videos, and you want to become a part of our mentorship where we're providing daily market in-depth, daily market breakdown videos to our private VIP community every single day, as well as live setups, just shoot us a message on Telegram at ArielFX Trading, and we'd be happy to get you on our team. All right, I appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk again next Sunday. Thanks.